Hey guys, welcome to another Trade Genius podcast. Bob and Phil here. Guys, the world's ending, stock market's crashing, but just relax. Don't worry. We'll talk about why. Let's dive in.
Trade Genius.
Okay, Bob, so this yen carry trade's blowing up. I think Nikkei had the worst crash session since 1987, Black Monday stuff. What is going on?
You know, in the immortal words of Aaron Rodgers, RELAX. So this moved pretty aggressive, but we had this move before, if you remember in 2018, when we had a VIX reset and the market buys it right back. So I want to show you, first of all, what the problem is and why it just kept hammering us here over the last couple of days. And then I think the puke out, happened, Friday and through the weekend with the Iran saber rattling as well. So this is the VIX futures term structure. Okay. When it is sliding down on the curve, that's bad news for stocks. And because as a lot of these guys do is they do calendar spreads on these, and so they like to short the front month and then buy the out months. And when you get a VIX spike like you did, they have to unwind that move, and they're buying back VIX, which causes the VIX to rocket. I should have put the chart up today. It's unprecedented that we get a VIX over 50, 60. And I'll explain to a second, guys. Just bear with me on this one because I have to explain why this works and why you're going to make money on this in a couple coming weeks. Is that when you have a VIX that skyrockets like that, it's a reflection. It's a reflection of all the protection that's being bought out over a 30-day average period of time out of the money puts and calls. And they get so expensive that it's pointless at some point to hedge anymore. You might as well either close your position, you get stopped out, or you take profit. When that unwinds, it's just like when the tsunami pushes the wave out. When it comes in, it just comes in like a freight train. You're going to get a massive short covering rally just because people are covering their protection because it's a closed loop system. And in this next chart I want to show you is what happens in these environments. And this is just an average, but we spiked up to 60. I have a chart that tells you less than 1% of time ever is the VIX spend in that range. You're talking normally nuclear war has to happen for it to get any higher than it did. I think even like in 2008, I think the VIX rarely got to 90. Okay, so this was a really aggressive move on players, putting protection in fill. But just look out into the future. Only one time did we not get a massive snapback rally. And then Kyle in our room posted that when the VIX gets to the price it got today, in fact, you can expect a 2-week period of time, maybe the whole sell-off gets bought back. And so bear that in mind, that the selling to continue is that the news that is known has to find news that is worse that is unknown. If not, the traders are already positioned for it and are going to start unwinding that protection. So Phil, I'm going to throw it over to you to talk the Bitcoin one, then you and I can banter back and forth because it works the same way with Bitcoin. Hey everybody, it's Bob with Trade Genius. Usually I do fun ads, I talk about our service, but I want to be serious with you for a second. We've been helping a lot of people trading for a long time. As you can see here, I want to let them do the talking for me for a change. But most importantly, we want to help you too. If you've not joined our service yet, come check us out, tradelikeagenius.com. Full service. We have chat room, we have the algorithms for you, we give trades out every day, we educate you. So go to tradelikeagenius.com, check us out. What you get out of our service is much more than what you put into it, and we'd like to see you in the room. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, so this is the Bitcoin similar grid or matrix forward performance after the worst day of each year. This was the worst intraday drawdown. We got 16% down just today. So if today is the worst day of the year, then what we can expect is that in the following week, we actually are getting pretty bullish. And I like to highlight 2016, which is the third row down from the top, and 2020, which is kind of in the middle there, because those are halving years and we're in a halving year. And you can see that the returns on these statistics are very good in halving years. So the weekly is very bullish, monthly is very bullish, 3 months out is very bullish. And that kind of supports, us getting into a blow off top scenario. Now, will we see only a lower high? That remains to be seen, but I think we're going to put in, I like what I'm seeing here off the lows, Bob. I think it's supportive of a move back up into the range. Obviously, if we get back to to the top of the range. And really, it's kind of a slightly declining channel that we're in. I can't really call it a bull flag anymore because we've gone sideways for so long. But we get back up to those 68 to 70 area. That's where we're going to look really closely because we can start breaking out of that trend line that's developed up there. And this breakout move could be quite substantial. Now, the reason why I think we're hitting our head on those levels as we get up there is because I believe the miners have a hedge wall up there, meaning that they can't afford not to sell at that upper level up there right now. And when I'm talking miners, just as the whole group of miners, majority of them cannot afford to not being able to sell against their production at those upper levels. So I think you have this short position up there that's kind of acting as a hedge wall. However, you break through that, not only do they not have to have those hedges in place anymore because now they're in profit above that level now, post halving costs are higher, so they have to see Bitcoin trading above 70K for most miners. Guys like Wolf and CleanSpark, not so much. They can survive at these levels, but the bigger boys, they got to see higher levels. So I think that's what's holding us down. I do think there's the potential for a squeeze over that. Those guys, it'll be a kind of positive feedback loop because they'll have to release, or they no longer need those hedges in place and they can just sell against spot price at those higher levels. So I think that's the mechanics in play. And I think that's why we'll blow off in terms of Bitcoin. But again, you have to see that move happen first. Until then, the hedge wall wins. So we'll see. But in terms of the positioning, Bob, on Bitcoin, we're seeing the order books get more bullish, right? We didn't see that until we got down into the 48.50 zone. We tried along at 55K, didn't work. And that's when we told the guys that a move down to 48 to 50K is likely the spot. Now, if that doesn't hold, Bob, and things aren't improving in the markets, then, I guess we might have to look at the top being it. And that's the one thing that's kind of up in the air here. But if we're going to make a low here and go up, we're seeing all the right things so far for that.
Yeah, look, you got to play the probabilities, okay? You could shoulda, woulda, coulda yourself into no action,
right,
or to do stupid things. I always play the probabilities because, over time you're going to win. Just like you have to swing the bat to hit the ball. But I want to talk about SVIX for a second because a lot of people had questions in the room about, oh my gosh, it went down again. Okay, so when VIX got to 60, I doubled up that position. I doubled up calls and I doubled up my position. If VIX just simply goes back from 60 back down to 20, you're looking at a move that'll take SVIX up into the mid 40s. Okay, that's how this game works, and I think I'll make a lot of money with my average price, on calls at $3 and my average price of the shares under 30. Okay, so you'll be shocked, how fast this thing moves. And if I'm wrong and take my lumps, at some point in the next 6 weeks, we'll be very, very right, and you just set the trade up again because it's a closed loop system. It's not like a stock where it can go to zero and stay to zero. It's an ETF. It's not like XIV, which was an ETN. Okay, so these things work in a closed loop. You can't maintain an elevated VIX. It's too expensive for people to maintain these put positions. And the closer you get to the expiration of the big open interest, the faster these guys are going to close out that position. So I think there's a tremendous opportunity. And then we're just going to have to wait and see if we get a blow off or a lower high. But I think in the next 2 weeks that we're going to see a bit of a relief rally. If you're nervous, keep lightening up. We've been lightening up for the last 4 to 5 weeks. I told people to get long TLT, and TLT came through like a champ. On this, our pair trades, Phil, the ones that we were already positioned 50-50 were mock SNCs today. The market is blowing up, and these things were like maybe a 2% move on these things. One was long position, made more money than the short position. The other one, the short position, made a little bit more than the long position. The only one that didn't work yet was Coney Fiat because we're only 70-30, but we'll be fixing that over the next couple weeks, and then we'll be truly market neutral in these things. And then what we do is we just simply sweep these dividends that come every month and not sweat these market moves. So I'm really encouraged that they got this thing. I think it was a good market test of these yield max pair trades. It gave me some confidence here because the biggest thing that I worried about, Phil, was a flash crash. And I can call this maybe a multi-week flash crash, where it was persistently down, right, and the pair trade held up. So guys, check it out. Check us out. Get in the room that we can show you how to work these things. And you're going to keep your sanity about you. And it's going to really, really pay dividends, and pardon the pun, over the next probably 18 months when the market's not going to be doing very well.
Yep. All right, guys, let us know what you think. Is the lows in? Are we going to bounce back up? Are we only going to make a lower high, or do we scream to all-time highs? Post your comments below. And if you need help navigating these markets, head over to tradegenius.co. Like Bob said, check out our specials over there. You can get into the room with us and we'll help you navigate this nutty market. It's going to get volatile and more volatile as the year progresses. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you on the next episode. Take care.
Trade Genius.